Okay, advertisers have learned that people are more easily encouraged to develop positive attitudes about things toward which they originally have neutral or even negative attitudes. Okay, that's a lot already. We're talking about advertisers. They've learned that people will feel better about things in which they either don't have any feelings about or have negative feelings about if those things are linked with pictorial help rather than exclusively through prose, and prose is writing, to things about which they already have positive attitudes. Okay, so if you like something and you have, and that thing is linked to something else that you are either neutral or negative about, and it's linked pictorially, so through pictures, not through writing, then you're going to more easily develop positive attitudes about that negative thing than you would if it were through writing, I guess. Therefore, advertisers are likely to do what? Oh, well, when you get this blank line, you can just predict it. But I'm just literally going to take what they told me. They just told me that pictures are better than writing, and linking to things you already like. So I imagine that the advertisers are going to take what you have a negative attitude about, what they're selling, and something you have a positive attitude about, and they're going to put them together in a picture. Is this... I don't know why this just came to my mind, but is this why sex sells? So people are taking positively associated things and trying to mix them with food or whatever. Okay, weird. Which one of the following most logically completes the argument? All right, so therefore advertisers are going to link through pictures positive things and what they're selling. A, use little, if any, written prose in their advertisements. Maybe. I mean, I think they're more likely to use pictures than writing, but they could still use... I don't love that this is like focusing on what they're not going to do. I really want to see them linking pictures and positive things. And I don't care as much about the writing. But anyways, maybe if that's the only answer that works. B, try to encourage people to develop positive attitudes about products that can be better represented pictorially than in prose. I think they're trying to sell their product, and so whether it can be better represented pictorially than in prose doesn't matter. They're going to represent it, or they're going to try to represent it in pictures. So it's not about choosing products that can be better represented pictorially. It's about taking the product that they have and representing it pictorially. Does that make sense? This is a weird, it's like trying to conflate two different ideas in a way the passage did not. C, place their advertisements on television rather than in magazines. Those can both be visual, so wrong. D, highlight the desirable features of the advertised product, by contrasting them pictorially with undesirable features of a competing product. No, that's like the opposite, right? That's like, we're going to take, you have a positive association with our product, you have a negative association with some other product, and we're going to put them together, which is then actually going to make people like the competing product more than they did before. That's not good, right? Okay, so A is the only one that might work so far. E, create advertisements containing pictures of things most members of the target audience like. Yes. That, such as, well, back to my example, sex sells, good-looking models, whatever they want to do, they're going to put that in their ads because people like that, and then they're going to associate that with the product being sold, and so on. So E, I think, is better than A because it focuses on what they're going to do as opposed to what they're not going to do. And I really think that's the focus. So E. Questions? Silence? Is that a good thing? Maybe that's a good thing.
So, well, I'm sorry about that. I'm sorry to disrupt the silence. I'm still trying to understand how you come up with that conclusion because I picked D because I mean I get now why D is wrong because it's talking about competing products.
Yeah.
But what if it was to talk about undesirable features in their own products? And I know obviously that's not what the question says, but the
Well,
answer.
that's overly specific, right? That's like we know that they want to associate things that their product, which presumably we have a neutral or maybe even a negative attitude about, they want to associate that with something positive. But if you pick an answer that says, okay, well, they're going to highlight the desirable features of a product with the undesirable features of the product, it's like maybe like, but are they gonna? Is that the way they're gonna do this, or could they do it some other way? Like we don't have evidence for which way they're specifically going to do this, and E leaves that open.
Right. Okay.
Cool.
I
Great.
want to quickly, I want to
Yeah.
quickly flag a question,
Yeah.
which I think is interesting. With answer choice E, how do we know, or rather, how do the advertisers know what most members of the target audience like?
Well, I don't know how they know that, but it doesn't really. Well, on some level, it would be nice if this answer choice actually said create advertisements containing pictures of things that advertisers believe most members of the target audience like, right? Like that would make the most sense because they're going to do what they think is going to be liked. But I don't think it's unreasonable to assume that they're going to figure that out. And even if they don't, it's still the best answer of all these, right? It's the only one that's as close to the evidence. It's the closest to the evidence, I guess. Does that answer your question, Eric? Did you want to add anything to that?
No, I think that's great.
Cool. Okay.
Can I ask also one question?
Yeah, go for it. Yeah.
Sorry, I missed the qualify, so I just read that somebody commented. So that qualify in the previous reading comprehension. So what it is used for generally in LSAT? Because I didn't understand that. It was one of the answer choices. How it is second paragraph related to the last one.
Yeah. So you want to know what qualifies means in that